we will be more successful, more powerful, more able to do the things that as individuals working by ourselves we have never been able to do. Pool your resources physically as well as financially. Stop wanton criticism of everything that is black owned and operated. Keep in mind that jealousy destroys from within. Observe the operations of the white man. He is successful. He makes no excuses for his failures. He works hard in a collective manner. You do the same. Now, these are things that we must do. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad asked us to commit to save 5 cents a day. He said if we can save just 5 cents a day from our wages, 25 cents a week for 52 weeks in the year, that would mean we would put aside $13 a year that we could save in a national savings treasury. At that time that he wrote this, we numbered 22 million people and approximately 5 million were wage earners. Well, if 5 million wage earners save $13 a year, this would mean 65 million saved out of our wages in 1 year. At the rate of 25 cents per week, it would be painless. Today, brothers and sisters, don't you think we can do better than what we were asked to do 48 years ago? According to government statistics, there are a little over 16 million blacks employed at some level. Well, look what happens if we raise the economic bar and contribute the same nickel a day. The truth must be recognized by the black man.
Defending black women and black children and black babies and black men.
Greetings, listeners. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I bear witness that there is but one God. Welcome to the Black Agenda here on the Street 919 FM. I am Brother David Muhammad, and I'm going to be in studio with you up to 9 o'clock this morning. And in a short while from now, I will open up the telephone lines and take your calls on 3420081 and 4665391. You can send WhatsApp messages directly to me on 332-0214. And as usual, you can visit the social media pages of the Street 919 FM and follow the program in studio. So, beloved family, we are halfway through the month of August 2025. And for me, this is a very, very special time for more than one reason. First of all, let me say that it was 10 years ago, yesterday. Look at it. 10 years ago, yesterday, that I launched the book Black Studies at the Central Bank Auditorium. I think it was a Saturday. Yep, Saturday, August 15th, 2015. At the Central Bank Auditorium. And my understanding was that it was one of the largest book launches, if not the largest book launch of its kind, at least within that era. Close to 400 people in attendance. And it was a very special day. It was arguably one of my life's greatest accomplishments up to that point. And then from there, of course, I would have done a number of engagements all across Trinidad throughout the rest of August, which of course is emancipation season, but of course September, October, November. You know what? I'm just trying to get my bearings properly on this, because this is some very important history for me. So I would have been the manager of the Soca Warriors at around that time. So I think I would have, okay. So I would have just come back from a month in Canada, where actually the first launch took place. I went to Canada for a month with the national under-23 football team. And I did 2 events and a couple radio interviews over there. So the first launch would have been in Canada. It was also the holy month of Ramadan, where I was in Canada, Puerto Rico, and part Trinidad. Anyway, got back to Trinidad just a few days before August 15th and had that book launch. Then in September, October, November, I would have been to Panama twice. This was with the national team. I would have been to Panama twice and maybe Guatemala. But anyway, coming back to Trinidad in November, I would have had my first launch outside of Trinidad in Jamaica, right? And I would have come back to Trinidad on November 30th from Jamaica. So Jamaica was the first launch outside of Trinidad. And then I was booked to go to England on, I believe it would have been around the 7th of December. And then hear this is one of the most exciting weeks of my life, first week of December, because I just come back from Jamaica, November 30th, and I was requested by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to come up to Chicago for a very important meeting on 3 matters. One of them was regarding the book. One of them was regarding the building that we were about to start constructing. But imagine, I'm in Jamaica for about a week. It would have been 24th to 30th of November. Get back to Trinidad November 30th. Leave for Chicago on December the 1st, 2015. Meet with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on December 2nd. Fly back on December 3rd. Just one full day. Get stuff together December 4th and leave again to England on December 5th. Very exciting time. Very, very, very exciting time. And then I would have spent about 3 weeks in England. And I would have done 3 launches over there. In London, 2 in London, 1 in Birmingham, and 1 in Slough. And then coming back to Trinidad, I remember we would have went to, that's when I went to Panama for the second time, because we had a playoff against Haiti in Panama for the Copa America Cup. I don't know if you recall, 10 years ago, Trinidad and Tobago had a chance to play in the Copa America Cup with Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Colombia, Venezuela, Bolivia, Peru, Chile. Haiti won the game 1-0. So that was, it was a great loss. It was a great miss for us. But anyway, coming into 2016, those would have been my last 3 months with the Soca Warriors. January, February, March. And then I would have went to Tobago. And then a whole new journey started with planning New York. I went to New York. I had about 4 events in New York in about 8 days. But the thing about New York was, once I launched the book Black Studies in New York, I was constantly invited back. So of course, I spoke at the 2 Nation of Islam headquarters in Brooklyn, in Harlem. And then I was invited back a number of times by the Medgar Evers College in Brooklyn. And then the DC 37 Trade Union in Harlem, Manhattan. And then I was a guest speaker for the Dr. Eric Williams Memorial event in Brooklyn. I would have seen our beloved sister Penelope Beckles there. We would have hung out a bit. But every time I went to New York and come back, I'll be invited again for another event. And that went on for about 3 years, right up to the pandemic. But in between there, 2016, most of 2016, going into 2017, I would have done book launches in Grenada, Barbados, St. Vincent, Antigua, which would have been the most special in that run, Guyana, and a few other places. I'm just recalling this. This is 10 years ago. And then, of course, in the middle of all of that, remember, we're building. We've started construction on the Kwame Ture Center. And it was a roller coaster ride. But that book, Black Studies, took me to so many different places. And so much love, so much appreciation, so much. It was such a great experience. You know, not just the content of the book, and then the content of the book. All right, so I say all of this to say, well, first of all, tomorrow is a very special day. Again, tomorrow is my birthday. So, we're having somewhat of a celebration of knowledge at the Kwame Ture Center, 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. And that book, Black Studies, which is the newest edition, which is never sold for less than $200. It's $260 in bookstores or on the online sales. People have purchased that book online from some of the most unlikely places that I've never been to. So tomorrow, only for my birthday, Marcus Garvey Day, we are having copies of Black Studies available for $100. That's tomorrow only. But we're having a celebration of knowledge, and I am inviting you out to celebrate that very special day with me tomorrow at the Kwame Ture Center, 11 o'clock. It's going to be a fantastic day. This is also the first year I'm spending my birthday in Trinidad, apart from the pandemic. This is the first time I'm spending my birthday in Trinidad since the launch of the book. Imagine that. Again, 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Because in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, as well as 2022, 23, and 2024, I was in Jamaica as a guest speaker for the Marcus Garvey celebrations. So we're also celebrating Marcus Garvey tomorrow as well. Of course, August 17th, 1887. As I always do every year. And even the 2 years for the pandemic, where I was not in Jamaica, 2020 and 2021, I was still a guest for the online platform that they had for the Marcus Garvey celebrations. And I'm hoping to still somehow get squeezed into the program via the phone tomorrow. All right, so there we go. Okay, so let me open up the telephone line. Something just happened. Not sure what it is. Something just happened here. Right, so 342-0081 and 466-5391. All right. Yeah, our telephone lines are open on this August 16th, 2025, beautiful Saturday morning. I did not see any road accidents this morning, which was good, but I think normally I'd say out of every 10 Saturday mornings that I drive down here, then normally I'd say at least half the time, or maybe at least 4 out of 10 times, you have these road fatalities. All right, so Trinidad and Tobago continues to struggle with our crime problem. Some very interesting observations. Of course, the stand your ground legislation remains a major talking point, but we would have seen a news item yesterday where a licensed firearm user would have killed 2 people who would have been seeking to enter their home. And again, it was done without the legislation. So, you know, it raises more questions about the purpose of the legislation. Caller, good morning.
Good morning.
All right.
Concerning Sandra Brown,
Yes.
the commissioner before had his sole discretion in handing out gun licenses and certificates. Now the UNC wants to set up a board, and this board will have discretion too in handing out license. Do you know anywhere in the world where you have a board handing out licenses to citizens of the country? Isn't it that it's always the police that hands out licensing? Mr. Mohammed, do you know anywhere in the world where you have a board handing out licensing?
I don't know of anywhere, but I'm not familiar with the process of that legislation, though.
Right. So why now? Do the UNC want to take away the rights of the commissioner in granting gun licenses and permits? And if you have a board, right, and the board might be, let me say, 6 persons on the board, and you have the commissioner. Suppose now these 6 persons want to give someone a gun, but the commissioner doesn't feel that he has that right to have that gun. They could overrule it because it's only the commissioner. It wouldn't be balanced. It must have the commissioner and someone else. You can't have the commissioner alone and the board, because the last say in giving out a gun should always be with the commissioner. Right?
Let me ask you this, because I'm not as familiar with this structure as maybe you are. Is it that the commissioner is the chairman of that board?
Well, it's supposed to be. He's supposed to be. But what I'm saying is that you can't have the commissioner alone and you have 6 persons on a board, because they will overrule him, because it must be balanced. You must have the commissioner and someone else there, right? And the board will have discretion too to grant licenses. But I say if the board is giving out licenses, okay, Mr. Griffith has handed out over 5,000 licenses, right? So if you're putting up a board, that means there will be more than 5,000 licenses given out to citizens. It could be 25,000, it could be 50,000. Because they say it is too much work for the commissioner. So it's just handing out licenses to their supporters. So if the board, to me, if the board will be handing out licenses, they may be fooling the public to believe that it's a legal gun. But under the law, persons receiving guns might not have a legal right to own the gun. Only if the commissioner have the last say.
I hear you. I think, though, whether they have the legislation or not, whether they have a board or not, whether the decision is down to the commissioner by himself or not, the bottom line is there is a trend and a pattern with extrajudicial killings by the police and also killings by licensed firearm owners. There is a huge, one second. There's a, okay, but my point, there's a huge imbalance.
Right, but what
because it's only and mainly young black males who are profiled and are victims of those kinds of shootings. So whether there's legislation or not, whether it's a board, whether it's the commissioner, regardless of what, the victims, more often than not, are likely to be profiled and stereotyped and can be killed in error where the perpetrator would get away free. That's my concern.
Yes, but I'm also saying too that as an African person, right, I'm scared to live in this country because you already have 90% of the murders are committed against Africans. You have 99% of the police killings are against African persons.
Exactly.
And they refuse to use body cameras. Right? And you have a commissioner of police who is of African descent. And then you will have stand your ground. You know, so I, as an African person, I'm scared to live in this country.
Yeah, and again, that has been the pattern, that has been the trend, and it's been quite consistent.
I know the business owner supposed to get guns, but it's supposed to be always the discretion and the sole discretion of the commissioner of police.
I hear you, but again, regardless of whose discretion it's up to, it won't make a difference to the outcome. The outcome has, okay, you won't see a young Chinese person, Indian person, Syrian person, white person be killed by a licensed firearm owner, regardless of what the circumstances are, because subconsciously there's a consequence or a penalty to face in taking the life of someone in this country. But when it comes to young black males, there tends to be a very casual approach to executions whereby a statement can just be so casually made to the public through the media to justify it. Listen, and I don't know if it's that we miss this collectively or what, but how can, and this is a question, how can a suspect for a crime be referred to openly in the media as being guilty before they have gone through the process of the court system? White-collar crime and political corruption is huge in our country. Medical malpractice is enormous in our country. But the doctor who's guilty of medical malpractice or the white-collar criminal would not be referred to as a criminal in the media. The story would be reported as someone being accused of or on trial for or was temporarily dismissed from a position because of. But when it comes to certain people in the media openly says, bandits. A bandit was caught. A criminal was arrested. Well, if you're arresting him, part of the reason that you're arresting him is to find out if he really was a criminal. Because if you already know he was a criminal, then why bother to take him to court in the first place? And that imbalance, that bias that exists, again, whether there's the law or not, whether it's the Minister of National Security, the Commissioner of Police, the Chief Justice, the DPP, whoever it is, that racist bias remains a part of the social fabric of our society, and that needs to be addressed, especially before issuing out all these firearms to a lot of very paranoid persons who in their mind feel that they will be justified in opening fire on someone who they are afraid of. Caller, are you there?
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good program. Good program. Now, a pundit went, you will hear it on the news. It was last night on the news. It was, I don't know if it was on ENIN program, it was on CNC. Now, if that pundit had one of those stand your ground laws done with him, his life might have seen. That man leave, go in, that is what he has always do, cook food and take hamper and little change and going to give. He's not a rich man, but he is going to give the underprivileged. That happened the day before yesterday, right? He's going big daytime, going to do the right thing to help, which he does always when he's not a wealthy man, but he tried to help because that is his way of life. Two bandits meet him. Just to collect sense, you will see it. Two bandits meet him. They beat the man and kill him for his own things. He's going to do charity. They beat his wife critical. You hear? But if he had one of the stand your ground, and if he had one of them, the next one would have run. So why if the police won't target you? Because you not to them angles. You is trying to get out to people from trouble. And you is getting out to show people what is life, how to live. So police won't target you, and police not going to shoot you. The white man won't look for it. The Chinese man are looking for it. They're attacking the Chinese. The Syrian man are looking for it. But these fellas going in your home. In your home. St. Helena, the people making roti, they get ordered. You live where you live in, this comes up far. Or only with mask. Go to all of two women and take what they have. I mean, I wouldn't say the police wrong, and I wouldn't say stand your ground wrong. I am saying, if I have a life and ammunition, what you're doing in my place, you have no right in my place to pick a leaf. Find yourself out. Because you in people's place, I will be in people's place, so the police can free. Let the right way of life. So who look for it, sir? I'm glad that they get it. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for calling. Right, let me make something clear. Now, many times when I discuss this matter, my focus might be on innocent persons who are wrongfully profiled, mistakenly killed, and then the licensed firearm holder in such an instance is excused, sometimes never even arrested. So the focus of my conversation is the error and mistakes that could be made through the loopholes in the legislation whereby an innocent person may be killed unlawfully or accidentally. Most times when I have a conversation like this, the responses tend to be about those who are guilty. I'm not talking about those who are guilty. Those who are guilty, as we all in this life, should pay the penalty for the consequences of our actions, 100%. And that is the law that we establish in our societies, but Allah is most merciful. Because if Allah, God, were to punish man for his sins, there won't be not one human being left. All right? So let's understand that part. If not the courts, not the Constitution, not the judiciary, not the law, if God were to punish human beings for sin, there won't be any of us left. Right, so we understand that. Okay. But here we're talking about legislation regarding the law of the land. Those who are guilty of home invasions, of murder, rape, theft, robbery, must be made to face the law for what they did. Okay? That's clear. No excuses are being made for guilty parties. That's a whole other conversation. But I am talking about the innocent persons. I'm talking about those who were hardworking, innocent, law-abiding citizens who were mistaken for some kind of criminal and then killed. So if that is what I'm raising, you cannot respond to that by saying, well, there were other ones who are guilty. So because there were others who are guilty, it justifies killing someone who was not guilty. Those are two completely different conversations. Caller, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum. You're still in Hakim Mohammed.
Walaikum salam, my brother.
So nice to hear you, my brother. So nice.
Alhamdulillah.
You are the one stand up for African people in this country, my brother. Yourself and there are others also. But you're the one with the voice on the air.
I appreciate it.
Have strength, brother. You were born, you were gifted to fight for our people. There are those in our society who hate our people, and they remind me of the plantation every time. On plantation, they took the white man used, give the black man, but you have a picture of a man with his back destroyed by beating. You have it. You have it. You know
yes,
that?
Yes.
They beat him with the bullwhip. They give the black man to beat the black man with the bullwhip.
Yeah.
And the white man never beat us, you know. He stood there with the gun. And if you don't beat him the way he wanted to beat him, you're a dead African. You understand? That is what it is. And today, when I look at what is happening, they always take the African and put him in front of the doors, in front of the grocery, in front of the store, in front of the bars, you understand? To protect their business, to deal with the African that they tell us that are coming to rob them. They put the black man there. They take the black man in this government and they put him to the front. They put them to the front to deal with the African. That coming out of the plantation. That's plantation. They study us, you know. And what they do, you know what they do? They throw out all kind of negative stupidness about bust your head and who drinking here and kind of thing. But while they do that, they're giving 200 lots of land, piece of land to their people, and we're not looking at that. While they talk to negative over, and who's standing for it? One union leader are here speaking for it. 20, 30, 40,000 Africans lose their jobs. You understand? They have nothing to give their children. They have nothing to eat. They can't even pay their rent. If they used to pay rent, that is what they do. They put in negative so we will forget what they are doing. I remember when Basir Pandey came into power. Basir Pandey closed down all the youth camp, put hundreds of youths outside in the street. Maybe some of them, the children, are involved in crime. I remember when this government, this leader came into power, they opened a place down inside of where Karen was down there. They say, land for the landless. They never put a name on the people. What they did, they put ID card numbers so their people got land. They come back again, they do the same thing. And our people did not see it. What they do to our people, they give us a little token something and make you feel that you have power or you have something. You have nothing, but they do that to influence you so that you understand, could be on their side to destroy the people. Brother David, let me tell you something. I'm saying this to you. If I leave Trinidad and I go to other Caribbean country or to Africa and live, you see how many African Americans are leaving America and going to Africa? They're going to Ghana, they're going to Nigeria, they're going to all about there. You understand? I would have done it if I was younger. You understand? Before I go further, my son traced, our ancestors, and they came from Ghana, from Nigeria. You understand? They did the test. They came from Nigeria. You understand? But if it is hurting in this country, what I just think about is the younger children young ones, the youth in this country from 1956 to now, DLP never changed the voting pattern. DLP never they changed name, they never changed the voting pattern. No seat of theirs ever come to the East-West corridor. None ever come. We always give to them, you understand? And when we give to them, they know how to get us because if you have our mentality is still on the plantation. We have a negative thinking. They put us against ourselves and we hate ourselves so much that we will destroy ourselves for these people and not drop that drop. They don't like it. But as I told somebody on this station, people have a saying, they say, Bamba Agosi. I don't know if you know what it means, but even Bamba Agosi. Take time, you understand? And time is everything, you understand? I know, I had a feeling this, you'd have never gone to this parade. You see why they scrap it? This independence thing, they scrap it, you understand? Our people, open your eyes and see. But brother David, those who have done, those brothers who have gone before, they did all the work for us. They put it, they show us, you understand? To see, you know this song that this brother sing, what is his name? Roy C. I wasn't there. You know that song, brother David? I wasn't there when they raped my great-great-great-great-grandmother. I wasn't there when the slave came up the ship. You must listen to that song, you understand? He wasn't there, but you understand? He could feel, he could feel what went on with him. We don't feel what our ancestors went through. Or the people who get land here, they never planned. We don't know. They never planned no cane. Who get the land? They never planned no cane. Our ancestors came in chain. They cut down all the bush, everything. They put all of the group who are here. They came here and they meet displaced people. Our ancestors planted the cane. They didn't get one piece of land. You understand? Those who cut it, they get all the land. And our people are against what we hate. That self-hate. Let us get rid of that. Unless you don't get rid of that self-hate, we ain't going nowhere, brother. It has hurt me as a black man. Somebody, you know what I'm sorry, brother, sometimes you wouldn't believe me. And this is newspeak. Somebody is sorry that I am still around on the brighter side to see what's going on with our people in this land. People wouldn't believe that. It has hurt me when I know what the struggle we went through. They will destroy you, Just like how they want to destroy his name, Kafra Kambona and all these people who went before, you understand, these strugglers and these two who went before. Just like how they don't like them and saying when they get money, what money we getting? You understand? You see what this Prime Minister do? Psychology. She get one time involved with the African Exim Bank. You know why? I hear what she's saying? Everybody will benefit. And she fighting, you understand, for reparation for us. She fighting for reparation to get the indentured people and their money. You remember the guy from Guyana who tried to stick in that in a discussion that they had? That is what she's fighting for. Open all their eyes, think, and see. Brother, your leader to say something, and you just say it, you understand? You just say, what I ask of you is that you think, and your leader say, you can't handle the truth. They can't handle it. I will talk the truth until I'm dead in the morning, but dead to me. The truth, because the truth is the truth, you understand? Have a nice one, my brother, you understand?
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much.
Your family and everybody, and all conscious African people.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, blessed morning, David Mohammed.
Caller, good morning.
I see a moment I conscious, but from my constituency.
I'm not hearing you very clearly.
Yeah, man.
Well, I can hear you faintly, but go ahead.
Yes. I know you're that caller talking about land and land and land and land and land. But brother David Mohammed, right? The PNM ruled this country since God was a little boy. How much land they give black people? You know when they come out to speak out and get a share of the pie. The senior land and get away to only 1% and them. But have no land of emancipation committee never have piece of land. The government bars the pond, they give a piece of land in Tree City there. 25 years they do nothing on the land. If they say they didn't get the list, why you go former government instead and give them the list? Really take away the land and send them down licensing office down there. So when I hear them all calling them, I feel sick by. Do I believe when go for the breaker, Dr. Alison?
I hear you, my brother. But I'll say this, all right, to that. And I hear you, and it's true. But But one of my wishes for our community in this society is that we desist from analyzing the time periods within which we live based on who is in office. Now, you've spoken the truth, but we have this tendency as an African community say, well, this happened under this government, that happened under that government, without paying enough attention to what we are doing, regardless of who is in government. All of these observations are true, and many of them are very unfortunate, about what people refer to as the black government, neglecting the black masses, etc. So we just had a black government, of, you know what I mean by that, African-based. And there was the denial of the African Bank. And then an Indian-based government comes in that welcomes the bank. We had issues like the Columbus statue. We had a black government in office that left the Columbus statue up. They said they wanted to hear both sides. Indian government comes in, statue is gone. Right, fine. We can make these observations that are true. But we need to look more inward. What are we doing in spite of who is in government?
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street. 919 FM.
Attention business owners. Are you looking to reach a vast audience and boost your brand's visibility? Then look no further. The Street 919 FM is here to help you shine. With over 170,000 followers on our social media platforms, our radio station is the perfect platform to showcase your products and services. Join us and let your message be heard by thousands of eager listeners. Contact us now to learn more about our affordable advertising packages. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to connect with your target audience. Advertise with the Street 919 FM today. For more information, call 399-5959 or 384-2232. Join the winning team with Pastor Alkaline John
every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. and every Thursday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Live on the Street 919 FM as he talks about Lviv, the power of 5 fruits, one of the most powerful antioxidant supplements on the market today. The 5 superfruits in Lviv are mangosteen, acai, pomegranate, goji, and nuni. These fruits have a positive and profound impact on human health, performance, and disease. Join him as he gives live testimonials of the Lviv healing powers. To get more information, you can contact Pastor Alkaline John at 516-286-7079, or you can visit his webpage at www.alkalinejohn.com. Remember,
every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. and every Thursday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
live on the Street 919 FM.
The time is now 8 a.m. This time check is sponsored by Lambeau Credit Union. Always here for you.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
This Java, get ready to chase the crunch with KFC. Dip it, dunk it, and drip it with our juiciest chicken tenders ever for as low as $29.95.
It's Java, it's summertime. KFC makes it all come alive. Big limestone into big appetite. Hit the beach with KFC. Yeah.
Choose our hot and spicy or extra crispy non-spicy tenders and dip, dunk, and drip into our flavorful sauces, Java style.
Gonna spice up the summer, let's go.
So, chase the crunch and make Java finger-licking good with KFC. The #1 bookstore in Trinidad is having the biggest back-to-school sale for the holidays.
Shop at Sharon's Bookstore for the biggest back-to-school sale.
All your kindergarten, preschool,
primary, secondary school,
and tertiary education supplies at ridiculously low prices. Sharon's also carries a wide range of sneakers, socks, t-shirts, vests for girls and boys,
and much more items for school. So don't miss Sharon's back-to-school sale.
Now on Eastern Main Road, San Juan, Tunapuna.
2 locations at Trin City Mall, ground level and first level. We're also open on Sundays from 8 a.m. Check us on Facebook for up-to-date info and promotions. Also, message us for a quick response.
We rollin' big when the jackpot hit. We rollin' big when the jackpot hit. We rollin' big when the jackpot hit. Play way fast cash, that is the fit. We rollin' big. Fast cash and play way take win. No extra spend, just vibes and luck. Play way and fast cash turn up. We rollin', yes we rollin' big. Fast cash and play way take win. Mega mix or monster pick. Jackpot from 10,000 quick.
Jackpot starting at $10,000 have now been added to NLCB's Playway and Fast Cash games. Wager on Playway Mega Mix or Fast Cash Monster Draw for a chance to win the jackpot after every draw. Don't miss out. Visit NLCBgames.com for details. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly.
Light up your weekends at Vibes Nightclub, Tobago's hottest spot. 3 epic nights of music and energy await every Thursday. Karaoke Thursdays. Kick off at 8 p.m. with free entry. Grab the mic, unleash your inner star, and sing all night. Beers on special for $10, 2 Campari for $25, and giveaways for the best singers. Every Friday, Limers Fridays. Kick off at 8 p.m. with free entry. Vibes with your crew and enjoy beers on special for $10, 2 Campari for $25, and 2 White Oak for $25. Every Saturday, Raw Saturdays. Everything goes, nothing but good vibes. Free entry and an all-star DJ cast to bring the vibes. Vibes Nightclub is where Tobago shines. Join us Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for music, fun, and unforgettable nights. Don't miss out. Your weekend starts at Vibes.
Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. in the morning on the Street 919 FM radio. Hear my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the Word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar, as my life.
Looking for a safe and relaxed professional massage therapist and nutritionist? Look no further. Nature's Touch with Empress Judy and Associates offers a natural approach to better health. Treat yourself to a professional massage therapy and nutrition advice in a safe and relaxed atmosphere. Rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul at Nature's Touch Therapy. For an appointment, please call or WhatsApp 1-868-398-8282 or visit our Facebook page. Remember, your health is our responsibility at Nature's Touch.
Planning your Tobago getaway? Choose the highest Google-rated car rental company on the island, O'Neill Auto Rentals Tobago. Located just minutes from the A&R Robinson International Airport, at O'Neill, we pride ourselves on being the most tech-savvy car rental company in Tobago. Our process is 100% digital. No paperwork, no long lines. From easy pickup to seamless returns, renting a car in Tobago has never been simpler. WhatsApp us now at 1-868-361-1042 to book your vehicle. Don't forget to mention promo code Radio2 to receive a 5% discount on your rental. Send a WhatsApp message to 1-868-361-1042 today. That's 1-868-361-1042. O'Neill Auto Rentals Tobago, the easiest, most reliable car rental experience on the island.
Vehicle availability is subject to change. Driver must be at least 25 years old and have a valid driver's license to book. For more information, visit www.rentalcartobago.com.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen. So there's a need for brotherhood. Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen. Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen. Brotherhood is demanded. Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen. Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. Brotherhood is obligatory. Brotherhood is essential, it is urgent, and it is compulsory. But the time demands brotherhood. Whenever the dominant white society fears for its economic future, racial tensions are always aggravated. The aim of Almighty God is to bring the black man and woman together. The aim of Almighty God is that we, no matter how divided we have been in the past, must experience unity in order to gain the success that we seek and the progress that we desire. There is no way that a divided people can build a future. Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. So there's a need for brotherhood. But if you walk the earth proud and arrogant, you never learn your lesson because you think you already know. And how in the hell could you know and be in the shape that we're in? How can there be any brotherhood if there's not even the honoring of a word? Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen. Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen. Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen. But the Quran and the Bible bear witness that the heavens and the earth were created with truth. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen. Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. Brotherhood is obligatory. Brotherhood is essential. It is urgent and it is compulsory. I feel that every man that wants to speak should have the right. And if you think you know it better, get on up and get on and do the job. But if you don't know what to do, and all your mouth is able to do is condemn and criticize, but you have no works to show the rightness of your philosophical adherence, then maybe you should rethink your position.
Welcome back and welcome to the second hour of the Black Agenda here on the Street 919 FM. We're going up to 9 o'clock, reminding you that tomorrow at the Kwame Ture Center, first of all, I'm celebrating my birthday, Marcus Garvey Day, but also 10 years of Black Studies. It was 10 years ago. 10 years ago yesterday that we launched the book Black Studies, which has since been available all over the African diaspora. And as I said, it's taken me to some really beautiful places. And the book will be on sale tomorrow at below half price. Only tomorrow. This is, and what I always think about is that in 2015, there would have been persons who were 7, 8, and 9 years old who are now 17, 18, and 19 years old. And this knowledge is intergenerational and more relevant now than at the time it was released. Listen, every single chapter of the 10 chapters in Black Studies is like an entire book. Chapter 1 is on black ideology. It looks at black nationalism of Marcus Garvey. It looks at Pan-Africanism of Henry Sylvester Williams, Sailor James, and George Padmore. Looks at the Nation of Islam's teachings from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, Minister Louis Farrakhan. It looks at the Rastafarian philosophy of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor of Ethiopia, Haile Selassie. Looks at the civil rights movement of groups like the NAACP, Medgar Evers, Dr. Martin Luther King. And it looks at the black revolutionary perspective of Kwame Ture, formerly Stokely Carmichael, and the Black Panthers, Huey P. Newton, Eldridge Cleaver, Mark Clark, Bobby Seale, Fred Hampton. And it lists key ideas, approaches, and strategies of addressing the problems of African people. That's chapter 1. Chapter 2 looks at racism in all of its forms, from bigotry, intolerance, xenophobia, prejudice, segregation, stratification, institutionalized racism, xenophobia, and racism in all these different Latin American countries, from Argentina and their history of racism to try to cleanse their population, Uruguay, Chile, El Salvador, and of course places outside of Latin America such as Canada, even China, India, Europe, and the racist laws that were introduced to create a kind of modern day institutionalized segregation. That's chapter 2. Chapter 3 is Caribbean Studies, which is like an entire book. Chapter 3, Caribbean Studies, looks at the history and truth of Columbus and the crimes against humanity, the atrocities that he committed. It looks at how Spain manipulated the Caribbean region, committed mass genocide. And then chapter 3 also looks at issues like the Grenada Revolution, the 1970 Black Power Revolution, the Haitian Revolution, even the 1990 coup, political violence in Guyana, in Jamaica, and also the history of the Federation of the West Indies, CARIFTA, CARICOM, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the Association of Caribbean States, the CSME, CARICOM Single Market and Economy, and the CCJ, CARICOM Court of Justice. All of that's chapter 3. Chapter 4 is another whole book on its own. Chapter 4 is Black History, going back to the early classical period of African people building the pyramids, writing the alphabet, creating the number system, being the originators of science and art. African people building the first towns, villages, cities, civilizations, the first libraries, schools, colleges, hospitals, universities, all in Africa. That classical period of African history. And there's so much in there. But chapter 5 exclusively looks at the Holocaust period of African people. Enslavement, or the African Holocaust. Again, a whole other book by itself. Then there's a chapter on black economics, a chapter on African people and religion, a chapter on black sociology, black psychology. And like I said, every single chapter in black studies can be used for a 6-month-long series of presentations. And I was advised prior to the launch that I should not launch all of that in one book, but that it should be published chapter by chapter as separate books. And I felt, no, let's go for it. Let's go for it. So it's all in one book. It's 433 pages, and its reputation precedes it. Because again, I mean, just thinking back, especially those first 3 years leading up to the pandemic and the opening of the Kwame Ture Center, those first 3 years was so incredible, the momentum of that book. And I remember when we got it online for the first time, which was about 2 years after, and people who would have developed an interest in it based on hearing other people speaking about it. I put a post on Facebook yesterday about the event tomorrow, and I saw a couple of people commenting, yeah, I was there at the launch in St. Vincent. And then another brother said he spoke at the event in St. Vincent, and I think I have a fair idea who that would have been. The Speaker of the House in St. Vincent would have spoken at one of the events that I did in St. Vincent and the Grenadines at the launch. So it's a very special occasion. I'm inviting you on because we're doing a summary presentation of some of the content. There are thousands of powerful ideas in that book. Thousands of powerful ideas, perspectives, philosophies, ideologies, literally thousands. And we're doing a summary presentation tomorrow. Again, we start at 11 o'clock. And this will be my birthday celebration for 2025. It already feels good to be in Trinidad for my birthday after, I mean, the last time I would have celebrated a birthday in Trinidad really would have been probably 2014. Even that, I can't remember too well. After, you know, when you're getting a bit older, sometimes the memories. Anyway, let's go back to the phone lines. 342-0081 and 466-5391. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Brother David.
Yes.
Mohammed.
Good morning.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, God. And looking out for a nice finishing up of a program that started this morning with David Mohammed. Thank you for that. Now, Brother David Mohammed, everything you talk there, I find you talk best, the real best. And I keep on asking the country coming from you and all who I heard before, see for self, do for self, organize, organize, organize.
Yep.
I take that in respect of what I understand where it's supposed to be. Now, I would like to ask a question. In going back to the standing ground, if God is to come on earth now, and he tell Trinidadian and Togolese people he don't want no gun in the country, I would like to ask if they will tell God, boy, we have to have gun. Yeah, because I keep on saying the same thing you're saying. The gun will work on the poor people and the slaves. There's where it always been working, is they going to work. And when I keep on saying, look, the best thing we do is, I don't care what nobody say, I'm moving like God. I don't want the gun, get the gun out of the nation. I see people talking about putting more gun. I asked yesterday in our last program if we going back to the wild, wild west, when Mexicans have strapped down with gun bullets all around them and 2 guns on the side, and they also have a long-range gun. Because on the end, that is what I see going to eventually happen. You keep on putting and putting and adding and adding and adding, there's going to be an addition and murder in the world, in the Caribbean, in Trinidad and Tobago. And I keep on asking that. I don't know why it is that the human, instead of getting rid of, he rather to put more destitution on the society, on our living, on our survival. It beating me. I want to say too that as a layman, I may not have the big education, I may not even read so much. But a layman, I would say, as much as an educator, who's plenty people who is educated and have all the semestics and things. When you look at them, they're greedy. When you look at them, they're going up plenty and going up there to gain power. But what about the man who have none below, but he have intelligence? And intelligence to see maybe something that these plenty of these house slaves cannot see, and they will not see it because they put themselves or find themselves in a position where capitalism rules. And since capitalism rules, there are things that they wouldn't see to develop from below to the top. But what the society is developing from the top to the below. How is that working? When you're asking people to see for self, do for self, organize, and the same people below don't want to do it, don't care to do it, maybe they're not seeing to do it, and they're expecting that capitalism will do for them. And I tell them, capitalism will do nothing for you than to keep you enslaved. I don't know if I have no common sense in saying these things or no intelligence in saying these things. I haven't a certificate. I don't have no big education. But the truth is that the poor class of people have to organize. I keep on asking for that. And it may have some intelligent people and educated people who to stand to control that. Now, I'm not going against you here in the sense that you say you don't like politics. I would agree with that in some great sense why you don't like politics, because I understand it. But the fact remains is that the educator who understands the system of harmony, justice, truth, consciousness, disciplines, which I understand that Islam is one of the organizations in the world that should be able to use the disciplines to control, because I don't expect these masses of Jews and Israelites and even Arabs in some cases of the other will be in total of harmony, justice and so forth because they're fragmented by a European system. And I don't know if we could find people, and where do we control our organizations? From in parliament. Why are many of us not in there with our honesty, our disciplines to do that? Because I can't have two people, especially in Trinidad and Tobago, fighting. And I talk about republic and democracy in other places. But here is not democracy and republic. Here is Africa and India. And where we going with that? Do we have an umpire in the parliaments or in the senates or wherever the state organization? Or do we have an umpire or a referee? I'm asking questions, my friend. And I believe it is. Because you know, I could go on and on showing the ills and points of whatever without a certificate and without an education. So what are we doing as a people? We who should organize against capitalism, being the slaves that they say that we should have been, and we are in a slave civilization. What are we doing, people? We poor people. Thank you, Brother David Mohammed. Thank you, Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for your thoughts. Yes. 342-0081 and 466-5391. We're going up to 9 o'clock. Time is flying so quickly. And I want to urge us to, from time to time, especially when global events are taking place, log on to the Final Call newspaper to get a true unbiased perspective. Yesterday, President of America and President of Russia met in a very choreographed, coordinated, historic kind of meeting. They're discussing war. But meanwhile, something that has not been reported enough in the Caribbean, right here on our doorstep, you have 2 government ministers from Grenada standing in solidarity with Cuba, said, look, after threats from the United States Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, about restricting access to enter America, we have 2 government ministers from Grenada who said, if us standing with our brothers means we're not going to be allowed to enter the United States, then so be it. After that, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, said the same thing. We are standing in solidarity with Cuba. By the fact that so many people from all over the Caribbean can go to St. Vincent for certain kinds of medical treatment, including Vibes Cartel. Imagine that, Vibes Cartel with his illnesses. He went to St. Vincent and the Grenadines for treatment. And Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves said, these medical facilities and the expertise that we have here, it's because of Cuba. So if it means not allowing me to enter the United States because I don't want to turn my back on my brothers in Cuba, he said, so be it. And then, after that, our beloved hero of the Caribbean, Prime Minister Mia Mottley of Barbados, said the same thing. Said Cuba is responsible for so much progress in the Caribbean in spite of the fact that they are victims of all of these sanctions by America. And if it means that me being denied entry into the United States because we are holding on to this alliance with Cuba, then she said, well, I don't need to go to America. And this consciousness is spreading like a wave. Could you imagine? I shouldn't keep beating them up like this, but I would have said, could you imagine our Trinidad and Tobago politicians taking a position like that? Well, maybe they will. But the whole region has to stand in solidarity like that. We're empowering ourselves. We cannot just sit back and have other countries having meetings about our destiny. We cannot have office holders in the United States of America planning our economic future. And even domestically speaking, we cannot allow the politics of the day to determine how conscious we are going to be. I remember like it was yesterday when UNC won the election in 1996. emancipation that year was huge. Listen, beloved, I remember attending emancipation events in 1993, 1994, and 1995. Venues such as the Duke Street, the Panyard on Duke Street was used, Mucurapo Senior Comprehensive. Who remembers that? Who remembers that? That Mucurapo Senior Comprehensive School, which I think is Mucurapo East Secondary now, used to be the main venue for emancipation. And the last time I attended emancipation there was 1995. In 1996, when UNC won the election, it moved to the Savannah. And it went from hundreds of visitors at Mucurapo Senior Comprehensive to tens of thousands of visitors at the Queen's Park Savannah. And then it stayed at the Savannah. I think there were just about 2 years where it was moved to the compound of the Jean Pair complex in the car park. I remember 2006 was one of those years. I think it was 2006 and 2007, but definitely 2006. And then it was moved back to the Savannah. But prior to UNC winning that, we would just gather at Mucurapo Senior Comprehensive, and you know, it was very well attended, but in a small space. And then 1996 comes, and then African people tell themselves, you know what, it's time for me to get conscious. Well, then again, too, and this is another really sad reality, that when the UNC came in, the funding for emancipation went up to $4 million. And I think it was 4 million. Again, I don't have all the facts on this, but I know for at least 1 year it was 4 million, and it would have probably stayed at around 4 million or 3 million. Would have dipped to 2 million, but it was around $4 million in the 1990s under Basdio Pandey. Then our black government comes back in, it goes down to 1 million. Indian government comes in, prize money for Calypso Monarch goes up to 2 million. Black government comes back in, prize money for Calypso Monarch dips back down to 1 million. And then under 1 million with a car and the different add-ons. And then we as a community, we fluctuate in consciousness based on who is in office. So basic principles that would have been taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, by Kwame Ture, by Marcus Garvey, by Malcolm X. Basic principles such as support black business, build and create a black economy and circulate your dollars within, protect our women and our girls, think of black family life and make black family life and respect a priority within our community. All these principles, wearing African clothes, supporting African industry, finding out where the black-owned businesses are. These tend to be principles in our society that we have highs and lows on depending on who is in political office. I am saying, regardless of who is in political office, our consciousness must remain on a high. Caller, are you there? Caller.
Yes, morning.
All right. Yes, good morning.
Is for around?
Now, here, no.
What program is this, Bill?
This,
what day is the program?
Okay, so this is the Saturday morning program. I think Brother Fuad would be on during the week, Monday to Friday.
Oh, Monday to Friday?
Yep.
Oh, because what happened, Dave? I had some complaint to make. I wanted to talk to him, or we had told him yesterday, but he called me back. He said he will call me back. I don't think we'll get on to him because it's concerning the government, babe. To make some complaint what they're doing is wrong over here in the village. You understand?
Does he have your number?
Yes, he's telling me he's saving number. He have your number and he will call me. Tell me call me back now, babe.
Okay, well, if he told you he's going to call you back, I'm certain that he will. Yeah?
Since yesterday, say, hold on, he have called me back because I want to give him his complaint. I want most of them to know what's really going on with this government. Come, government, go. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
In the same situation. Nothing changing.
I hear you, but...
And I wanted to highlight it much as we could because if you see, it's only friend and family and the poor one it's not one of them vote for them, it's everybody vote for them. It helps everybody.
Well, not
This is me.
Yeah.
You understand if I'm wrong? You tell me if I'm wrong. You understand?
I hear you. But, I mean, knowing brother as I do, if he told you he would call you back, I believe he will.
I don't know, baby, give him a message now. I'm going to still give him a number if you want it. So give him it so you remember it. You want to take it?
So for now, let's go with his word that he would have given you. I'm sure he'll get back to you. I'll send him a message to remind him that someone is trying to reach him.
Tell him yesterday. The person who called him yesterday and he said he will call back and he call back. That's it. And when he will know who it is because he has the number, right?
Yeah, okay, got it.
Do me that favor, please. I beg you.
Yes, no need to, but yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm messaging him right now. Yeah, all right, thank you.
Taking the call.
Blessed morning again, David Mohammed.
Caller?
David Mohammed, yeah, blessed morning, David Mohammed. This is KMC, that's my radio name. But you saw you talk there, you talk real. So, Indian government, because it said Indian African government.
But you know what I mean, right?
There's two parties in this country, right? Let me be real. For Soca Monarch, we get the highest prices under Indian government. For emancipation, celebration, we get the highest. Calypso, we get the highest. And the black government come and drop it down. But the moment I listen to a program sometime, right? Come, the Honorable Prime Minister give Honorable land, right? To carry the workers. What they promise them and people watching it like they give Honorable Indian people land. We have a problem with that. The same other people, but the PNM was in the country for so long. What they do for black people, what they give what? They don't give out no land. Tell land for the landless. They don't talk the truth, but better they would. It's what they when they start the program, everybody look like we are the best interest in hand. And if you take your time, I will show you safe and sell them and cook. Bless. Talk the truth. Yeah, man. Love.
Walaikum salam, my brother. Caller, good morning.
Brother David Mohammed.
Right.
Good morning to you.
Hearing clearly. Yes.
Long time I touch base. Brother David Mohammed, this is COP. Let me say good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. Brother David Mohammed, is it true that when the UNC in the office, the UNC just really put more money into emancipation and African festivals and then celebrations and then, is that factual? I believe it is factual. And I want to say, I believe your role on radio is to educate and inform. And I have been seeing you doing that 26 years now. I have been listening to you on radio. Brother David Mohammed, 17 years ago, I asked you, I listened to when you're finishing your program and you say, all you want from your African brothers and sisters is to think. And I say, wow, that is amazing. Because after 17 years, if your African brothers and sisters really read those books that you publish and think, the African community would not be in the position that they're in today. Because when I drive around in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and some of the African community, I cannot go. And some of them, I would not go. And it have some of them that go freely. Brother David Mohammed, if your African brothers and sisters really read those books and think, the community will be 100% developed, because mothers and fathers and grandmothers and grandfathers will be speaking on behalf of the future of their community. Brother David Mohammed, I'm not saying that. I see that they speak on behalf of the PNM. And when you ask them to think, they just think about keeping the PNM in power and speaking on behalf of the PNM. In my view, Brother David Mohammed, that is callous. Brother David Mohammed, the people them who own 5 islands down Shagaramas, them get the land to have that organization over there before that African brother get the land who walk from Shagaramas to Port of Spain with Keith Rowley. And none of those African brothers that call your program speak on behalf of that brother and even ask the PNM why you did not give that African brother that land.
You're talking about Augustus Noel, right?
Yes, I think the Black Agenda went down and spent a day with them and said they get the nice biggest set of pumpkins and all them kind of thing. Today that brother don't even have that land. So when that black conscious brother that speak just now and say how the Prime Minister just want fighting for a referendum for African people, they just want that money. Brother, that is a callous statement. Your tribe, the future of your tribe would not benefit from that contribution. They will not learn. The most they will learn is tribal thinking. And that part of tribal thinking, I don't want to part. You see the tribal thinking, what you speak about, Brother David Mohammed, African brothers and sisters come together, unify together, educate together. That part of tribalism, I will understand.
All right, but
the tribalism. Say something, David Mohammed.
Right. So I hear you. I appreciate your sentiments, but there's something I want to ask you though, which something you said a bit earlier that has, and this is an ongoing personal challenge for me. But you said that there are places, certain African communities, that you cannot go and or that you would not go. Could you give me an example of such a place?
Can I go to Canada?
Canada?
Can I go to driving into Canada freely, which part all them empty apartment buildings is? Can I go in there freely?
So,
David Mohammed?
So you're referring to Canada up in Laventille? Is that what you're referring to?
Can I drive in inside there freely?
Okay, right. So I would say yes. Why would you say no?
Because I would not take that chance.
Right.
What I see, what I witness on Christmas list videos, I would not go. I would not go. In Christmas list videos.
Have you ever been to?
I would not go.
Okay. Have you ever been to America?
I would not go.
No. Have you ever been to America?
No. And I would not go.
Okay. Right. So you're making a decision to not go to a particular area based on what you saw on a video. Would you
see Silata?
Wait.
I will go Silata.
Would you agree that what you saw on the video, how long was the video?
About Christmas list videos and them that she show all over. Is that about a year now? A year and something now?
Right, no, the one in particular that you're talking about up in Canada.
Well, that is about that. It even 2 years now. It's about a year and something.
No, I mean, how long is the video?
And do a set of videos.
Right, the video is about half hour long.
The video?
Is it? Yeah.
Say
hour.
Yeah, you use your
okay.
vocabulary at minute now.
No, but hour, that's not much vocabulary there. So you saw
Right.
you saw a video for 1 hour about a place in Port of Spain that, since that recording, continues to exist as a community where every single day you have nurses, teachers, students, children going to school, you have taxi drivers, you have office workers, people who work in fast food restaurants who leave home, go downtown every day. You have university students, tertiary level, secondary level, primary level. You have a whole, you have a community that lives together and has challenges just like other communities. Do you know which part of Trinidad and Tobago right now has the highest rate of violence and murder? And you know what? I've been saying...
Which community?
Yeah, which part of Trinidad and Tobago right now has the highest rate of violence and murder? And you know what? I've been saying this for the last few years, but I only recently got official statistics on it. So what I've been saying, based on observation, proved to be correct, based on official TTPS statistics. The part of Trinidad and Tobago that is arguably the most dangerous area is actually Arima. Would you choose not to go to Arima for that purpose?
I will go Arima.
Right. Okay.
I will go Arima.
All right. So look at it now. So you are choosing.
But I will not go.
But, yeah, but I'm making a point.
Go.
Right. I'm making a point.
Right.
I'm making a point. You are choosing to go to a more dangerous place, and you've opted not to go to a less dangerous place because you saw a video that was about 1 hour long almost 2 years ago. You see, this is part of the problem of what we started talking about at the beginning of this program with the Stand Your Ground legislation. A lot of the perceptions, I'm making a point, a lot of the perceptions and opinions that people have in this society about communities, about people, about districts, about demographic categories of individuals is not based on reality, facts, or truth, but is based on sensationalized misinformation. Now, your choice is merely based on location. What if you were... Hold on. I'll let you speak. But what if, because you have made a decision here, you're not going to go to this place, but you will go to that place. And that place that you will go to is more dangerous than this place that you said you will not go to. But again, that's a simple, straightforward decision. That's fine. You have the right to decide that. What I'm saying, though, is what if you were a licensed firearm holder who was in a position where you also were faced with having to make a decision based on other sensationalized misinformation? You see, you taking a taxi to go to District A or District B is not really consequential. But if you're holding a gun and you have the right to use it, and you're being encouraged by legislation to shoot if you're in a state of doubt, fear, or concern, and then would most likely be supported by the legislation, then that can be consequential. Now, please don't misunderstand me. I appreciate everything else that you said. and you've made some valid points. But my
my
concern, my issue at hand here is the fact that in this society, people are making decisions based on misinformation. But go ahead, sir.
Past 20 years, I have been listening, hearing, and observing. Even in Port of Spain, the residents, it have places over there, the residents in them areas, the people on the street will tell you, don't go inside there. The police too will say, don't go inside there. The future of that community, if they're looking for work outside, they cannot even put the address where they live in. And the elders in the community don't call the radio station.
Brother, what you're saying right now is making it worse. For you to say that the police...
But David Mohammed,
if the police
you have to
tell you...
say what I'm saying.
I heard what you're saying.
You have to let me finish say what I'm saying.
I've heard it several times. If you're saying the police... And again, I agree with you. I agree with you that the police, under some circumstances, may tell someone, advise someone not to go to a certain area. We had an occasion, an appointment with the son of a certain former prime minister who was afraid to come to visit our building because he said the police told him not to go. Now, does that mean that the police were right? Now, if there was a stabbing, a shooting, an incident, a kidnapping, an injury, a fight after they got that warning, well, then maybe their warning would have been justified. But you talking about a safe haven that has been completely incident-free for 8, 9, going on 10 full years. Now, just because a police officer or someone who saw a video or read a newspaper report or heard a rumor is terrified over a situation and warns someone else, that does not justify their fear. And again, I'm saying any individual has the right to make such a choice. But if it has to do with decisions over protection and security and licensed firearms, then that puts a completely different spin on it and makes it consequential. But I hope you could appreciate what I'm saying, though.
Brother David, yes, I am not even going where you're going over there. What I am getting at is the elders in the community see the destruction of the community and they keep a blind eye. All they intend to do is to speak on behalf of the PNM. For 26 years I've been asking you, I've been listening to you, asking the people and them to think. All you want them to do is to think. They're not even calling the radio station and saying, no, the community is not like that. We need this in the community. We need this assistance in the community. They don't do that. The elders in the community responsible for how the community is today.
Oh, I think that
is what we are getting at it.
That's a bit unfair. I think that's...
Why I must say that?
It is unfair to hold the elders culpable completely for the state of the community. There is a generation gulf or a generation gap that needs to be replaced by a generation bridge because there's a disconnect between the elders and the young.
It's 70 years, 65 years the PNM in power.
Okay,
65 years the Blackburn in power.
What makes you think? One second. What makes you think, right, that these same elders that you're mischaracterizing, what makes you think that they are not?
That's the piece of vocabulary that you using.
Right. Okay.
That's what you using. That is not what my intention is.
Fine, of course. So what makes you think, and this is why I use the term mischaracterization, what makes you think that they are not asking for their community to be improved?
Well, then if they was asking for the community to improve 65 years and it's worse than how it was in 20 years ago. What they asking for, Brother David Mohammed?
Does that mean that they have not been asking? So you're blaming them and not the politicians?
Well, then fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me 3 times,
all right,
well, so, shame on me now. So shame on the parents and them.
Okay, so you have to decide exactly where you want to apportion the blame.
If you voting for a leader, and your leader making Indian people millionaire, Syrian people millionaire, Chinese people millionaire, and you asking, and you're getting, but you continue supporting. What you're doing, you're not thinking. You're not reading David Mohammed book, and you're not thinking. And that is why the committee in that position today.
Okay,
because you're not thinking.
It's much more than just
black
that.
Black man, you better get up. You better listen.
Right.
You remember those 3 words? They're not doing that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for raising that, but I'm
have a nice morning, David Mohammed. May touch base with you is 6 years now, isn't it?
Well, but I appreciate your call very much. I want to thank you for calling in. I also want to suggest, though, that it's a lot deeper than that. It's a much broader, bigger picture than simply saying a group of people have either been asking or not asking. The African community has been preyed upon, P-R-E-Y, has been preyed upon by external vultures who have circulated guns and drugs, have siphoned out wealth, have hired persons to do dirty work, and there has been a ghettoization that has seen the restriction of opportunity.
Attention business owners. Are you looking to reach a vast audience and boost your brand's visibility? Then look no further.